All right, first day in full pads. How'd it go? You guys get a little more physical today?
Well, there was a few little situational things that we did. We got into short yardage and goal line, and so when you get into full pads, that's the more appropriate thing to do. And so we did work on that phase of it, and I think today the offense won that battle. But again, just getting some situational football and trying to make sure we own the right things and get a little bit more tackling drills today. And again, I know we're teaching our white rail how to tackle. We sometimes going against each other, body against body. We're also using different type of dummies to where it's a little bit less contact from player to player. So we're taking all those things in consideration as things have been going on with football, or how to properly tackle and the head, keeping the head out of the contact. And so we're working on those skills here the last couple of days, and today was even more an opportunity to do that.
Is that something you feel like it's important to spend a lot of time on here in the preseason?
Well, I think it's important. Tackling is probably the one thing where you may not do as much of that from a live standpoint, but you can do a whole lot of base fundamentals. So therefore, when you do go live, you have the base fundamentals where you can tackle properly. And again, the thing that we've emphasized more too is just tackle the guy and get him down. You may have that picture perfect tackle. That doesn't happen that often. So we don't get all too excited as far as just to say we got to have a great tackle, got to be a better tackle. When you tackle the guy, that's a great tackle. So we're emphasizing that even more as far as our coaching staff is say, hey, it's a great tackle. He's down. That's all we want you to do.
How the heat impact things today? Did that kind of alter the way you guys were doing some things?
Well, the only thing it did, we cut back. This was 5 days in a row. So we just kind of cut back about 20 minutes of practice to kind of – it's really more about being 5 days of practice more than it was the heat, just because of when you have those many days in a row practice, you do need to cut back on those things. And tomorrow we'll try to get some live plays. How many? I think that's all going to depend on the bumps and the bruises, but we will get some live plays tomorrow.
Everybody make it healthy through the first week?
Well, we're going to probably be more cautious on some people that probably could, if we had a game week, they would be out there practicing, but we're maybe taking a handful of guys that are just a little bit slower, nothing serious from that standpoint. So I think for the most part we're in pretty good shape, and hopefully we can continue that and just pray to God that he keeps us healthy.
For a week with Alex Probert as kicker, how's he looking so far?
Well, Alex Probert, I guess if you had to say one or two people that have really been pretty good in the first 5 practices, I think he's right up there. There's no question about it. He's striking the ball real well, and he's been pretty consistent on hitting the ball. And, he doesn't quite have this stronger leg of John, but he's not that far off. He can hit the 50-plus field goals if it need be, but I think anywhere inside of 50, I think you're going to see tremendous accuracy. But again, this is still practice. He hadn't been in the fire yet, but I am very pleased the way he has progressed so far.
Outside of Probert, what other true freshmen have made an impact the first week?
True freshmen? Maybe a little bit of Brandon Tillman, defensive back, Spurs safety guy that we have in there has done a pretty good job. I like this core group of the freshmen that we have. I think we have a lot of talent just trying to fit in and try to get some things done in the proper way. But I think he's somebody on the defensive side that's probably stood out. On the offensive side, receiver-wise, you probably got a little bit of McConnell. You got a little bit of Antonio Golden, Gandy Golden there. Those two guys have done some things pretty well. So, again, they're right in the thick of a whole lot of things, so they're starting to swim a little bit because we have put in quite a few plays. But just talent-wise, they have shown that they have the talent.
What have you seen Probert on his kickoffs, if you guys have practiced that, with the leg he has to at least try to get to not where Lunsford was, but at least close to where touchbacks are pinning him deep?
Yeah, he probably, ain't going to probably kick it as far, but he can kick it out of the end zone if need be. If there's just a mild wind, he can do that. Probably the other asset that he has is he has good height, probably a little bit more accurate in the placement of where you want the ball. So we're very, very pleased. We're blessed to have him. I think he's a talented young man, and going to not quite give him all the accolades until we get into the football games and see him on game days. But the way he has been doing, I think we're very, very happy and pleased.
Off-campus practice tomorrow. You've done that in the past. Is that something that you feel like the team has really benefited from?
Well, we did make a quick little change on that. We're actually going to do it tonight or tomorrow here. Next weekend, we're going to go off campus. Just made a slight adjustment from that side of it. So we're going to do that. We're only going to do it one time this year. We have done it once or twice, but this year we're going to do it once here and just kind of go from there. But it's just kind of one is to break up the monotony. Also, then just to think about it as a travel situation. We make them put all their equipment in their bags and then got to put it on the bus, and the same way we would do like we would travel. So they go through all that routine to make it just a normal deal when it comes to play. They're not shocked by it and not surprised whenever it comes when we have to travel on the road. So it helps everybody, the trainers, the equipment guys. So everybody, it's not just the football players, everybody involved has to make an adjustment whenever we have to go off campus.
First day of practice is always easy for the guys to be energetic. Are they maintaining their energy through the first week?
I love the energy. I love the focus. Our coaches continue to be energized. Our players have been energized, and they're still upbeat and ready to get better. And we're staying focused, and that's the thing that I like so far. The big thing will be here in the next week. When we come back, are they still able to maintain that after you go through a full week? The first week is usually pretty good for the most part. That second and third week is where you have to really be challenged with our players to make sure they stay on tune and on focus.
That's important too, because now after you're in full pads now you probably want to start answering some questions as far as positions and stuff too, right?
Yeah, we want to answer that. We are obviously trying to find out who are hopefully at least the top two guys at every position. Sometimes we can find more than that, and that's great. But we're really trying to find out top two guys at every position because we're already one play away when you play the next guy that's behind him. And sometimes it may be equal. It might be a 1A, 1B thing or whatever. So, yeah, we are definitely evaluating. We're tremendously evaluating on special teams. We're getting a lot of people evaluating that and different drills we're doing. And so we want to make sure we improve in that area.
We've got 3 freshmen, had the backup quarterback spot behind Masha. How's their development going so far?
I think they've all been solid, and we put a lot on them. Coach Daly's put a lot on them as far as knowing our offense. I think all of them are understanding it all as far as the terminology. Now it's the execution on the field. That's a whole other different thing. You can do it on the chalkboard some cases, but then we got to go out on the field and make it within 3 or 4 seconds, and that's where they at because of just inexperience. But all of them are doing well, and we're very, very pleased with them all. They're Calvert and Jones and Urick. All those 3 of those guys have really, I think they all can have an opportunity to play at this level, but they got a long way to go.